Hello, everyone. It's Shane Conto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and welcome to Lost in the Wasteland, my weekly interview show where I get more perspective on somebody's perspective on movies. And for the third time, my brother Ethan is here with a new setting, a beautiful setting. And Ethan, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody.
Yes, and we're doing this on a Saturday morning, and it's a beautiful day in North Carolina, it looks like.
Oh yeah.
It looks like it is in New Jersey too, but I wouldn't know because I am still in COVID isolation. So there you go. Um, but we're here to talk about movies. And to get things started, because I know we've definitely had these before. So, Ethan, if you had a whole day open, what would be the theme of your movie marathon?
Okay, I'm gonna have to probably go with two answers for this one
Mhm.
because I feel like I watch movies based off of my mood, and my mood changes based on the weather. When it's a night, it's like a really cool, rainy, stormy day. I'm going with a like a darker themed um marathon. So you're gonna have some Tim Burton movies in there. You're gonna have, I'd say, the later um, Harry Potter movies, um, stuff like that, where it's just like really dark.
Very
Um,
nice.
some
Setting the
probably
mood.
like noir movies as well, just because why not?
Mhm.
Probably throwing a Spawn in there
Nice.
because it's dark and you want to I feel like it heightens the feel in those movies. Like the themes come out even more when um, it's alongside a rainy, stormy day.
There you
And
go.
then if I'm just on a normal day, I'd probably go with John Hughes. Get some teenage '80s teenage movies going on. You could actually throw in some um, Stranger Things in there too, because you can really get some John Hughes feels in that as well.
Stranger danger vibes.
Stranger Danger Things.
Stranger Danger Things. Still only watched the first episode so far because it's like
I binged it all.
unless you're like committing to it, they're not easy episodes to just drop in somewhere because they're all over like 70 minutes. And it's just like, well, this is gonna be a challenge. And that's usually how it happens with TV shows that I watch with Jess, is they get dropped in somewhere. Not a whole lot of space for it, but we'll get there. And so had two very different vibes. Now, even if you had a friend who had never watched a movie before, what movie would you show them?
Uh, I'm gonna have to go with my favorite movie of all time because it hits on so many points and it's so relatable. It doesn't matter what kind of person you were in high school, you're gonna relate to this movie. So I would definitely show them the Breakfast Club.
Very nice.
It's
Going
a
with
national treasure.
there you go. It's going with that. Well, you've never seen a movie before, but you could relate to them.
Yep.
Here's all those fun high school people. Now, I know a lot of people complain about there being too many sequels and stuff like that. But if there was a movie that you wish could get a sequel, what movie would you want to get a sequel for?
Hmm. I think I want to see the because one of mine already came to fruition, and we saw it. Top Gun Maverick.
Top
Um,
Gun.
I want to see the Breakfast Club get that treatment, but see them. I mean, it's hard to say because it'd probably be like a tiger. It's a gun. Shut up. Uh, it probably would have like a St. Elmo's Fire like feel to it. But they'd be considerably older. Because I
Mhm.
feel like there was a good amount of those actors in St. Elmo's Fire that it kind of felt like a little bit of a Breakfast Club. But I'd like to see the Breakfast Club get that a 36-year-old treatment like Top Gun did. I feel like that, like they're all still really good actors.
Mhm.
So I feel like that would be like a great movie to see. But I
That'd
don't think
be
that'll ever happen.
interesting to see where they all wound up.
Yes.
Because that
I
movie
want to
didn't
know.
give you one of those kinds of endings. Like we
Nope.
didn't get that. Like what happened to all of them? It wasn't like Animal House where it's just like freeze frame on all of them. It's like, hey, look, this is where this person wound up. This person
Yeah.
was president.
Yeah.
So
While
we're
the credits are rolling.
yep. Now, what's a film from your childhood that you haven't watched in years that you would love to go back and check out?
Little Nemo.
Oh,
I have it because you bought it for me.
there you
But it's
go.
still, even then, it's still, I probably watched that right when you gave it to me, and that was quite a while ago. And up to that point, it had been since we had it on VHS?
Long time.
Yeah.
I think I wound up putting that on my Amazon like to get list at one point. I'm just like, I want to get this and rewatch this at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that brings back some memories. It's funny because we grew up together, so we had similar childhood. So remember those movies, and that was probably one of the earliest anime that I ever watched because it was at the point where it's like you didn't even realize like this is anime.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I didn't even know when I was younger what like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon was an anime. I just thought it was a cartoon.
Just thought this is cartoon show comes on Saturday mornings,
Yep.
and I remember this is how much Shane was motivated as a baseball kid. Was like I was mad when I missed Yu-Gi-Oh on Saturday mornings because we had a baseball game. Oh, times have changed. Now you can just watch it whenever
I
the
could have
hell.
recorded over home videos for you.
Boy, is that a story.
One day we will tell that on your channel.
Yeah. Now, if you could visit a place from a movie, what place would you want to visit? Could be real. It could be fantasy.
100% Hogwarts. I know you get it's a really good feel when you go to Universal Studios
Haven't been.
in Orlando, Florida. But it's hot as balls, okay? That doesn't get like that in the mountains. Okay.
And it's not real magic.
And it's not real magic. Like that would be so cool to, albeit be a muggle. Maybe if we could add a caveat to that, like you would get like powers, like be a normal person in that 100%, no questions asked, it would be the world of Harry Potter.
Did you actually take the Pottermore quiz to find out what house you would be in?
I think so. I can't remember which quiz. Like I've taken quizzes before. I don't know if it's like the legit, like a legit one.
Which one did it tell you?
I was in the Gryffindor. Because believe it or not, I don't do bad enough things to say Slytherin. Like
Hey, Slytherin
is like when you're a Gryffindor, you'll do some things, but it's with the right mind. Like
that's the thing though. Slytherin's about being driven and like having aspirations and stuff like that. And Gryffindor's about courage. I was shocked I didn't get Ravenclaw, to be honest. I got Gryffindor too. I was like, oh, wasn't expecting that one.
But it's for the I'll do questionable things for the right reason.
There you go. Now, what's one film that you watched Way Too Young.
We have a handful of those, but I'm going to say the worst one was Scream. That's what happens when you have considerably older stepbrothers and your dad doesn't give a crap about what the hell you're watching.
Fair.
Like a South Park movie.
South Park in general was probably one of the things we watched way too young, because we watched that when that was like new.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching that
waiting for it to
Halloween
come on.
episode.
Yeah, waiting for that to actually come on. How many times did Kenny die? Like 9 times?
He died 3 times in that Halloween episode, very specifically. He got the space station fell on him. And then that's when he got the pink eye. And then he got chopped in half by like a chainsaw. And then a tombstone fell on top of him at the end of the episode. So there you go. But like, yeah, South Park way too young. We certainly watched that way too young. I remember you and our cousin Chris showing me American Pie.
That's another one. Also, for the longest time, we were the youngest cousins.
Yep.
Until our youngest uncle decided to have babies.
Babies. It was to the point where like we were actually like old enough to remember and interact at the wedding. So like that shows you how much older we are than them. But yeah, that was those are some ones. I remember watching. You scared the crap out of me with Lost World Jurassic Park.
When we held you there and made you watch the guy get torn in half, and then Mom found that out, and then she took the 2 double VHS away from us.
Well, you also tricked me because you and that kid that lived on Div Street told me you were going to put on Mouse Hunt, and it was actually Lost World Jurassic Park. And like, this doesn't look right. And then that little girl gets attacked by those little dinosaurs.
Sean.
Yeah, that was a fun time. Not.
I was a mean bro.
Then the Mummy, that also scared the crap out of me.
I'm a big baby. 1999, I was 9. You were depending on when it came out, you were 7, or I was. It just depends on when it came out in the year. Yeah, that was legitimately scary. We saw that with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I think, because he was like, "I love this movie."
Yeah,
so we watched.
Crap out of me.
And Mom didn't know that it was like, it's funny. It was like billed as a horror movie, and now that you watch it,
there's
a 30-year-old.
there's horror elements about it, but like it is definitely more of like a Indiana Jonesy kind of adventure film, because even Indiana Jones has some creepy moments in it. Because
that never got that vibe though.
Yeah, it like
it was just built in such a way that it was like you went in with that anticipation that it was going to scare the shit out of you, and when you're little, that's all in your head anyway. So
well, and it's also based off of a Universal horror movie, which is why like the Mummy and like
yeah.
So like it is a horror movie. It's just not like it's not going to disturb you, chill you to the bone, or scare the living crap out of you like a Conjuring is going to.
It's not Insidious.
Yeah.
Where you fall asleep. Don't ever fall asleep watching the DVD or Blu-ray, because when that shit comes back around and you're asleep and the title screen comes
on the menu.
Yeah, that happened to me. Was not a good time.
Now, Ethan, what's a film experience that you feel like legitimately made an impact on your life?
This one's hard.
It is
hard. A lot of those. Because we were going and seeing movies from like 6 years old.
Yeah.
Like you could remember.
Like I do remember being 4 years old and seeing Space Jam in like way too close to the screen.
Yeah, like that's what I tried conveying in our in the best man speech. I'm like, shit, what movie was it? Then we were
It
like,
was
eh.
it was Welcome to the Slam.
Yeah. Damn it. This one has me. What film experience?
It could be like an actual experience. It could be like a film that you feel like has legitimately made an impact on your life.
I'd honestly say seeing, I know it was later, but going to see, there's two of them. Because one's like you're young enough, going to see Lord of the Rings, because that was like the first film that you would go to see that's like, we're really young. This is a 3 hour movie. Oh, well, like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Like that's an eternity when you're what, 11? It came out in 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're like 11 years old, you're like, that's an eternity.
And apparently Lou didn't know how to tell time.
Yeah, we came in late, didn't we?
No,
Like,
we left early because we had a basketball game. We watched the first 2 hours of the movie, and then we had to leave.
well, we either came in late whenever we went with her, or we left early.
Yeah, because she took us out right when Frodo got stabbed by the cave troll. So we didn't even see the Belrog or Lady Galadriel or Amenhen and like Boromir dying. So like we literally missed an hour of the movie.
Yeah.
So, and
I'd say the other one is when we were considerably older. It's seeing the first Avengers movie. Because that's what started this whole phenomenon where you can go in and see a 2.5 hour movie and it felt like you were in there for a short film, because
yeah,
those movies were so damn good. And it wasn't just going to see a movie. It was a whole fandom, and it was like everybody there was so excited to be there. You had cosplayers in there, and albeit you couldn't wear a mask because obvious
rules.
reasons.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, it's that started a whole like lifestyle, a fandom, and almost like an obsession. I was
Yeah,
like, oh my God, I
because
need that. When's the next one coming out? When's this installment? And
yeah,
because it's the culmination of Captain America and Iron Man and this and like all those other movies that were coming out. And this is like, you were getting introduced to all these characters. Like me personally, I didn't know a whole lot. Like I didn't know much about Hawkeye or Thor, or like I like,
I
you
knew more actual Norse mythology than about comic book Thor at
but it
that
turned
point.
into like, holy crap, it's legitimately like a lifestyle now.
It is, and I remember because I wound up seeing the Incredible Hulk with Uncle Paul and Paul, like randomly, and then I saw Iron Man on a DVD for the first time, and I saw Iron Man 2 at Ryder in of like a big blow up screen on the campus mall. But it was Thor was the first one that like my freshman year of college, I went with a bunch of my friends to go see at the end of our freshman year. And then sophomore year was when the Avengers came out.
Yeah.
And I remember coming home and seeing that with you and Kevin for like a second time. And like I didn't go to the movies more than once. I didn't see the same movie more than once.
I saw it 5 times.
So like seeing the Avengers and then like Iron Man 3 was the next year for junior year. Oh, that made a lot of people angry.
Oh yeah.
And it's still a thing. Like I remember going to making sure we made plans for us to go see Thor Ragnarok, you, John, and myself, and John doing his John thing in the middle of the theater. Oh my God, crazy brown. And like it is, and it legitimately is a lifestyle, and like why, and like hopefully, like I know for my that was so awesome for my bachelor party getting to see Top Gun with 8 other people because like I missed that. I miss that kind of stuff. That was great. But movie fandom has changed, period, because of like the Avengers and stuff like that. Star Wars is, and probably actually no, it was Star Wars before that because
That was the first time I cosplayed to a movie, albeit
it was Force Awakens.
Yeah, I couldn't wear my my Kylo Ren helmet. No one knew what he looked like at that point.
Yeah, because I know realistically people probably did all those things for like Phantom Menace and stuff like that. But like,
yeah, I'm sure they did.
I was 8 years old, so I don't remember. I remember going with Lou and Jean, and they both fell asleep.
Yeah.
But anyway, now, Ethan, what's a movie that you would love to see turned into a TV show?
I can't remember if this is actual thing because I know there was an animated. Pretty sure Bill and Ted.
I would love to see a live action Bill and Ted where they just have all their misadventures through time and space and stuff like that.
Like fill in all the stuff that we missed. And I'm gonna hit up. I'm gonna slide into Keanu's DMs. He's probably got millions of them a day, but hey, man, try working on this, please.
That would be great.
Make Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures into a series.
I wound up finishing that over 3.5 hour George Carlin documentary. And Alex Winter's on it.
Oh, yeah.
And like he was talking about that, and like that would be like if this could have been like back in the 90s and George Carlin was still there and Rufus would be in the show too, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's what like I would try to make it in the late 80s, early 90s, because I feel like I loved the third movie, but you're missing the feel of like the charm of the 80s. And I feel like that was a big thing in that movie. I know people watching it at the time when it first came out, you don't get that. But like I love the 80s, I love the 90s, and I love going back and watching those movies because it's just like the charm of those 2 decades that I feel like it would really make that show.
I would love to see moving forward their daughters get their own show of going through like the history of music. That would be cool.
They were awesome.
Oh, they were great. I forget I forget the actress from Atypical, her name, and then I'm pretty sure it was Samara Weaving, and they were great together, the two of them. Now, Ethan, what's your favorite film romance?
Starlord and Thor.
Oh my God, that look in the Thor Love and Thunder trailer, where you're just like looking at the people you love and just Thor like those blue eyes though, like so for the record, Starlord is canonized as bisexual, and I'm pretty sure Thor would just do whatever the hell for fun. Honestly, so I could see it happening.
It's film, right?
Well, do you have a TV show romance? That's a tricky thing because I feel like TV romances are easier because like you get seasons and like episodes to actually like build them out.
David and shit.
What show are we talking about?
Schitt's Creek.
Oh, I love them. They're great.
That completely changed him.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it changed him. It made him who he actually is, as opposed to somebody who's like cranky and bitchy and like just, not all around great person.
I feel like everybody became a better version of themselves in that show, except for Moira. Because I feel like she's Even by the end of the show, it was just like, my God, she's still just Moira.
You have not become a better person at all. But yeah,
But
David and I hate that I can't remember his name.
well, this is what IMDb's for. But yeah, I love them together. That's great. Oh, David. Um,
Ew, David.
Patrick, Noah Reed's character, yeah. From the beginning, so like I thought David and Stevie were going to get together, but I preferred what they wound up doing with her was making her become like a daughter figure to Johnny. I love that. That was great. I love the two of them together. That made me so happy.
Safari, come say hi. Come.
But 100%, Johnny's still my favorite character because I love Eugene Levy.
Oh, say hi. Say hi to everybody. Say hi.
Oh, it's a puppy. Pupper. Now, Ethan, my final question for you is, if you get hired to teach a film class, what would be your curriculum that you would teach the students?
As in the films?
Yep. Could be like a general theme or like specific movies.
It's going to be all over the place. We're going to have The Godfather in there.
Of course.
We're gonna have to have Scorsese. You're gonna have the Scorsese in there.
So as of right now, this is an Italian American film class.
Just wait. And then we're gonna have to have John Hughes because he started a whole that's what started all these teen movies. Okay. Like
100%.
It blew up in the 90s, but that's because of John Hughes.
Why we got another teen movie.
Yeah. And then we're gonna have to have American Pie in there. Because that's another one that like paved the way for raunchy teen movies. And then we have to throw in like the classic horror movies, like Halloween. Because this is going to be long.
Okay.
They're going to keep rehiring me. So Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th.
Nice.
And I don't feel like we even need to touch like the newer stuff because you can have one class just based off of all like the Marvel movies. Like, good luck getting all that through. But they're just some of my favorite movies that like need to be shared if people haven't seen them, and learn about certain like stereotypes that are bullshit and some that aren't. You know what I mean? Not every gangster had a Gumar, but yeah, stuff like that.
Just gonna be the whole entire first month of the class is just gonna be welcome to my Paisan life.
Yeah.
And gonna have The Godfather, Goodfellas, Casino, the Irishman. He's the Irishman.
Even have to
but
throw
there's a bunch of
in
Italian people in it too.
Throw a Bronx Tale in there.
Very nice. De Niro would approve, and Chaz Palminteri. But yeah, so I would definitely enjoy that class. I would have a lot of fun with that. And good thing, because we'll talk about that after we wrap up, because those are going to be significant moving forward. But how I like to wrap up this show is always to give my guests a chance to ask me a question. So what would you like to ask the Wasteland Reviewer?
I feel like all the questions have been asked by everybody. I had a really good one I think I remembered though I asked you that at your bachelor party. And now I forget what that question was. Oh no, I asked you the question. Was that where you would like go to? Yeah. And like any movie. What I just answered?
Oh, where I would want to go?
Yeah. I want to know that. Like not New Zealand, Shane. A fantasy world, okay?
Darn it. I'm trying to think like
It does feel like a fantasy world to us because we have never been there. Like, I don't even know if California exists. Really, I've never been there. There's no proof.
so this is gonna sound ridiculous, and but it's either gonna be the architect's space in the Matrix Reloaded, or Ozymandias's whole like base from Watchmen, because I want that many damn screens in front of me. I just want to be able to be like
ADD would hurt with that thing. Like,
can you imagine the consumption?
how many
Like,
baseball games you can watch at once?
that's the architect uses that to watch MLB extra innings, actually. That's why he has so many screens. Like that's just something that popped in my head. I thought that would be a fun answer. Can you imagine you're just like, I'm here to shut down the Matrix, and you just walk through a door and it's just me sitting in a chair watching a bunch of movies on a bunch of TV screens. And it's just like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I totally wrote this. I watched way too many movies. So I got the white suit. I can sit there looking like Colonel Sanders.
Just come on in. I have another seat. We'll watch movies.
Here, forget about shutting down the Matrix. Come watch the movies. That's how they get me. I've never shut down the Matrix. Because I think it's I know in Watchmen, he's watching the Road Warrior on one of those screens very distinctly, because it's the Lord Humongous with his like pistol trying to shoot at Max at one point. I'm like, oh my God, I know that shot. It's like I should go back and watch Watchmen just to freeze frame and see how many of the movies I can name.
Do it. You can just have an episode on your channel based off of that.
So just a quick plug for those fun cinephiles out there. If you haven't started playing Framed yet, so Framed, it's a daily game where you have 6 guesses. Each guess is a different frame of a movie, and you have to guess what movie it is.
That sounds fun.
Today was so easy because I've seen this movie a million times, and we talked about it on this episode. And I'm going to tell Ethan once I stop. Oh, no. This isn't going to release until Monday anyway. So you can't even try it. It was The Godfather. It's the shot right when Michael comes out of like the store, and it's that very specific like taxi color car. And it's just like, yeah, I would not miss that in a million years. And like the other day, it was the beginning of Jaws, where it's all the kids sitting around in a circle on the beach while that girl's getting like demolished in the ocean. And it's just like, got that one too. So there you go.
No, with Sharknado.
One that it took me 5 guesses to get was Parasite, because they picked the most random shots from that movie. And one I got really frustrated, took me 5 tries, was The Proposal with Sandra Bullock in it. Because I remember seeing that in theaters, and I completely blanked because there was a shot of Sandra Bullock and Betty White. I'm like, crap, what the hell was the name of that movie? And I couldn't remember it. And then the next shot, I'm like, oh, there it is. But anyway, I would want to go to, how much peace and quiet I would have in the architect's little room to just watch whatever movies for eternity. I feel like there's no space time in there either. So like I could just like be in there, whatever. So I'm
like
definitely going there.
Symbolic training in Dragon Ball.
There you go. Training for the movies. But Ethan, thank you as always for coming on to my channel.
Thank you for having me. I got a quick plug real quick.
Okay.
Not for me though. It's the stuff I'm wearing.
Shameless plugs.
In the Asheville area, you have to visit Biscuit Head. Those are awesome.
They are awesome.
They call their biscuits. They call them cat heads because they're the size of a cat's head. Legitimately, that's where that comes from. They're incredible. And if you like beer, Mills River Brewing, Catawba Brewing Company is incredible. White Zombie, good stuff.
Nice. All the shameless plugs. We love shameless plugs here on any of my Wasteland shows. But thank all of you out there for always tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.